Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Before we go to the editorial analysis, let us have a look at the enrichment part. Today you're going to learn some important words like metal, tidings. Tidings we have got for the first time. Exemplary, a very good word. Innate, mind-boggling. And when it comes to practice questions based on exam topics, today you're going to work on error location, phrase replacement, and fillers, new patterns. There are two new patterns, very useful. Phrasal verbs, again, a new presentation, and as usual, editorial words. Now let us go to the editorial and see what is there to learn and how to get enriched. Give me a second. This editorial is all about differently abled athletes. Recently, Sunday, it got concluded the event, and it goes with their problems, their spirit, their mettle, and their resilient nature. It is inspiring, it is thought provoking, and it is definitely worth reading and learning something from the editorial, not only from the language point of view, but also from personality point of view. We all have everything. Still, we have high spirits. We experience high spirits, low spirits. But these people, differently abled athletes, in spite of the limitations, they strive hard. They try to excel. That is something exemplary. Now, how does this editorial start? True metal. There are two words over here, true metal. But one word is easy to understand, true, and the other one you got to know the meaning, otherwise, you cannot understand what exactly this editorial is about. The word metal means a person's ability to cope well with difficulties. Or you can also say metal means a person's spirit or resilient nature. When a person is exposed to a lot of problems, a lot of hardships, usual nature, they try to give up. But without giving up, you work hard, you strive hard, then it is known as metal. So, usually in conversation English, we say, show your metal. What is the main idea of this editorial? India needs to develop infrastructure and improve access for differently abled athletes. As I said, this is all about differently abled athletes. And the main idea of the editorial, they need better infrastructure. They need a good infrastructure. Based on that, the editorial says India needs to develop infrastructure and also improve access. Infrastructure it is there, but people should have access and improve access for differently abled athletes. The entire editorial is based on differently abled athletes, what they need, whether it is infrastructure or access or encouragement or media attention. It's all about that. Now let us see how it goes about. India saw another fortnight of good tidings in sports from Tokyo. So this talks about Paralympics, and it talks about the achievements or accomplishments of the differently abled athletes. India saw another fortnight, 2 weeks time of good tidings. There is one important word over here. Tidings we have got for the first time. It is usually used in the plural form, but the word tiding means a piece of news and also usually used in plural form. Based on that, you have tidings. India saw another fortnight of good tidings in sports from Tokyo. Close on the heels of. In this editorial, you come across two or three idiomatic expressions, and on the heels of means close behind or soon after something. Recently, the Olympics they have concluded, and immediately after that, soon after, or just behind that, then we use the idiomatic expression on the heels of. Close on the heels of the recent Olympics there in which India claimed an overall tally of 7 medals, inclusive of a lone gold. The country's differently abled athletes extended this tale of excellence into the Paralympic Games. So this talks about in the recently concluded the Olympics. India got 7 medals, one gold medal in that, inclusive of a lone gold medal, and the country's extension of that, the country's differently abled athletes extended this tale. There's one important word, not important, we have got many a time. Tale means a story, myth, story, fable, all related words. Story of excellence into the Paralympic Games. It's a story of excellence beyond any doubt. The quadrennial event, which concluded at the Japanese capital on Sunday, witnessed an exemplary show by these athletes representing 2.2% of India's population who are differently abled. Now, this sentence talks about the recent event, the Olympics, and after that, close on the heels of the Olympics, the Paralympics, and it is a quadrennial event. Already we have got the word quadrennial, means what? Once in 4 years, which concluded in the Japanese capital on Sunday. This event witnessed an exemplary show. There's an important word over here. Exemplary means what? Serving as a desirable model or something very good. Exemplary performance, exemplary behavior. You can take that as a role model and you can try to emulate. By whom? By these athletes, differently abled athletes, and they represent 2.2% of India's population. And it is something highly admirable. India finished 24th in the table. Now, coming to the table based on the number of countries participated, India finished 24th in the table with 19 medals. The Olympics, 7 medals, but Paralympics, 19 medals that featured 5 golds. There, 1 gold, here, 5 golds, 8 silvers, and 6 bronzes. That's wonderful. This was India's finest outing at the Paralympics. Outing to go out, here, go out for the event, for the competition. This was India's finest outing at the Paralympics and eclipsed the previous best of 4 medals at the Rio de Janeiro edition in 2016. Last time, the same people, differently abled athletes, last time they got only 4 medals. This time they've got 19 medals. And this has eclipsed the previous best of 4 medals. Means what? There's one important word over here, eclipsed. To make another person or thing seem much less important, good or famous. This is one of the two meanings. What is the regular meaning of eclipse? If you take a celestial body, one celestial body covers another celestial body, then we say eclipse, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. But here, the achievement of someone or something covered by something else, then we say it got eclipsed. Obviously, 4 medals last time, this time 19 medals, that is nothing but eclipsing the previous best. In a nation where sporting culture is sacrificed at the altar of the academic excellence, any news about success on the turf has to be treated as a system altering result. Now, this talks about the general attitude in our country towards sports, and sports not the first priority. For many middle class Indians or upper middle class Indians, the priority is education, educating the child. When it comes to sports, it is something like secondary. And sports, if someone excels also, the parents usually don't encourage. They tell the kid, you focus on studies. This sentence talks about that. In a nation where sporting culture is sacrificed at the altar of the academic excellence, there is one important word, though it has religious connotation, altar. Same pronunciation, altar, alter, altar. A usually raised structure or place on which sacrifices are offered or incense is burned in worship. Either sacrifices offered or incense burned in worship. Usually it goes with church. It could go with any religious place. About success on the turf. Here, success on the turf. It comes to sports, track and field, and has to be treated as a system altering result. Any change in this attitude, where sports are not considered the first priority, education is the first priority, any change should be considered system altering result. So it is something like changing the system. The challenges, now he talks about the challenges faced by differently abled athletes. The challenges for the differently abled are tougher, considering the body's limitations, that these athletes must cope with through sheer willpower. And then there is a secondary task of overcoming society's innate skepticism. When it comes to differently abled athletes, there are two problems. One is the limitations imposed by the body because of the handicap, and the limitations they have to overcome through sheer willpower. Sheer means complete. Usually I say sheer waste of time, complete waste of time. But here, sheer used as a positive with a positive connotation. Sheer willpower, complete willpower, they overcome the body's limitations. That is one problem. The other problem, the secondary task of overcoming society's innate skepticism. There are two words already: skepticism. We have got many a time. Skeptic, a person who doubts something, skepticism, doubting. And innate, excuse me, innate means inborn, natural, inbuilt, intrinsic. There are two problems. One is the limitations imposed by the body, one thing, and the other one, skepticism from the society. People usually don't expect, they doubt the abilities of a differently abled athlete. A simple access audit of India's urban buildings would reveal how even a ramp essential for the differently abled is either missing or added as an afterthought. Now, this sentence talks about, if you look at the country, we have so many cities and towns, and now we come across skyscrapers and tall buildings, shopping malls. This sentence talks about the infrastructure when it comes to the infrastructure available for differently abled athletes. A simple access audit, whether they can access these places or not, audit based on that. A simple access audit of India's urban buildings would reveal means what? Disclose how even a ramp essential. A ramp usually goes with fashion industry. When you take a fashion show, you see the T-shaped stage, and what something is protruded or extended, on that the models walk. That is known as a ramp. A ramp essential for the differently abled is either missing or added as an afterthought, on the second thought. They don't have access to these buildings, and completely missing, that is one thing. Or in some buildings, they are added as an afterthought or on second thoughts. In 2016, an audit, this sentence also talks about the audit, access audit, when it comes to access to differently abled athletes. In 2016, an audit initiated by government agencies did not find a single building that was completely accessible to the differently abled. This is very surprising and unfortunate. According to one audit conducted in 2016 by government agencies, not even a single building was completely accessible to the differently abled. They don't think of that. Seen in that context, what India's Paralympic contingent achieved is mind boggling. Contingent in this context means all the athletes they go together representing a particular country. That is known as contingent. Achieved is what they have achieved is mind boggling. There's one important word over here: mind boggling, overwhelming, or startling, something extraordinary. This was a leap of faith. There's another idiomatic expression. A leap of faith means what? You believe in something and do something, but you don't know whether it is going to happen, not going to happen, if it is true, if it is not true. It's only a hope. So this was a leap of faith mounted on endless hours at grounds and inside gymnasiums while sharpening muscle memory. So it is not that you can achieve something at that level just like that. A lot of effort goes into it day in and day out, not only physical, mental also. It talks about that. The Indian contingent reflected life's vicissitudes. This is an important word we have got for the first time. It goes with effective English, and meaning of that, a change of circumstances of fortune. Vicissitude means a reversal of fortunes. Initially, someone is very rich, after some time becomes very poor. That then we use the word vicissitude. Or someone is very poor, later he becomes very rich. Then also you can use, but usually it has a negative connotation. From positive to negative, we use the word vicissitude. So this talks about the Indian contingent reflected life's vicissitudes with athletes. Initially they were normal, but some incident Some event must have caused that particular disability. With athletes having personal stories steeped in tragedy. Steeped means surrounded, filled with, in tragedy. Obviously, earlier they were perfect. Some event or accident, they became differently abled. Accidents, polio afflictions, or genetic issues. Three sources for differently abled athletes. One, accidents. Second, polio afflictions. Afflict means to cause pain. Polio afflictions and some disability caused because of polio vaccine or lack of vaccine, not vaccine, lack of vaccine, or genetic issues based on the heredity. Yet, in spite of all these limitations, yet contrasting word, they strove towards excellence with an effervescent smile in place. All these people, they have a lot of pain and agony inside. In spite of that, they strove towards excellence. That's an important expression. There's one verb over here, strive. Strive means put in a lot of effort, make great efforts to achieve something towards excellence with an effervescent smile in place. Effervescent, vivacious, and enthusiastic. Again, an important word. Though a lot of pain inside, they worked very hard, put in a lot of efforts, and a smile with a smile. That is not easy. Be it athletics, where javelin throwers are the toast of the month, they are in the limelight. Everyone talked about that. Or badminton or shooting, India had its moments of splendor. Another important word, splendor. Magnificent features or qualities, something that is visually quite impressive. The five gold medalists, Sumit Antil, Pramod Bhagat, Krishna Nagar, Manish Narwal, and Avani Lekhara, led from the front. And the last named 19-year-old shooter also won a bronze. The last one, who is that? Avani Lekhara. India drew a blank in shooting at the preceding Olympics. Preceding, before. India drew a blank means they did not get any medal, but the differently able added five medals. That is really quite impressive. The Olympics, they did not get any medal in the field of shooting, but Paralympics, they got five medals. And efforts behind the achievements or accomplishments. The coaches, the Paralympic Committee of India, and Sports Ministry played their parts while India excelled in a championship held in the shadow of the pandemic. Still, pandemic, the fear is there in the shadow of a pandemic, and all these people played a part, played a role behind the success of these differently abled athletes. Since its first medal at the 1972 Paralympics, India was a marginal presence until now. 1972, they got the first medal. Till now, it was like a marginal presence, means not significant, not very important. A reflexive rewards exercise is on from various governments and the corporate sector. Reflexive rewards exercise is on from various governments and the corporate sector. They have been trying to do something. If a percentage of those riches are allocated to improve sports infrastructure, further differently abled, India will have more reasons for cheer in the coming years. Excel means to do well. To excel means to do well. In a competition, you do well, then we use the expression, he has excelled or she has excelled. So, how does the editorial end? If a percentage of those riches are allocated to improve sports infrastructure further differently abled, India will have more reasons for cheer in the coming years. So, if infrastructure is there, they will definitely bring more medals, and India will have more reasons for cheer in the coming years. A very inspiring editorial. Now, let us go to comprehension point of view. What are the questions you can think of? What is this editorial about? What witnessed an exemplary show in the context of the editorial? Here, the key words are exemplary show. What witnessed an exemplary show in the context of the editorial? What has to be treated as a system altering result? Something has to be treated as a system altering result. What is that? You have to answer. What would a simple access audit of India's urban buildings reveal? In fact, what did it reveal? That would have been better. What would a simple access audit of India's urban buildings reveal? Access audit from the differently abled athlete's point of view. What did the Indian contingent reflect? So, in this context, what did the Indian contingent reflect? What did it reflect? Easy to answer. Now, let us go to questions based on practice questions based on exam topics. The first five questions deal with error location. Read the sentence and try to spot the error. Not that difficult, not that easy, moderate. You should get a minimum three, between three or four. Please read the first one. Exactly, that's right. The victory, the triumph, the accomplishment or achievement. Yes, of course. Usually it happens, Bhavana. When it comes to accomplishments or the achievement by a differently abled athlete, imagine five gold. When we got one gold medal, the regular event, there was euphoria, and it became the talk of the nation. But here, five gold medals, not much of media publicity, and the response hasn't been that good. I do agree. But it happens, sometimes it happens. Where is the error? Already some students have responded. The transit systems, underground tunnels, and stations will be constructed next to heritage structures. Nothing wrong with systems. The systems, underground tunnels, and stations. System, possessive form. The systems, nothing wrong with that. Stations, also nothing wrong. Will be constructed. There is an error. The sentence is not correct. Will be constructed as a question where next to heritage structures. That doesn't make any sense contextually, grammatically speaking. The word next is not correct. It should be near or next to two. Will be constructed as a question where will be constructed near heritage structures or next to two heritage structures. That makes sense contextually and grammatically. It is about the wrong word. The word is not correct, or you can say preposition. The preposition to is missing. Please go to question number two. Either near or next to two. You can use near or next to, beside. You can also use a third word, beside. Residents have been planting the ornamental trees outside their homes and in lawns to add beauty and give the place a grand look. Yes, pre-tech. We can also use the word beside. Please go to question number two and let me know where the error is. This is a bit difficult, but if you read meticulously, you can spot the error. That should not be a problem. No, no, no. Nothing wrong with the third part, nothing wrong with the second part. They are perfect. Nothing wrong with the fourth part. There is an error, Asha. There is an error. Here, please answer my question. Residents have been planting. Which tense is this? Just answer my question. Which tense is it? Residents have been planting. I want you guys to answer my question. I repeat, he has been teaching, they have been doing, residents have been planting. Which tense is it? No one has responded. No one. Present perfect continuous. Nagamani, first one to respond. present perfect continuous. When we use present perfect continuous, obviously we have to use a time phrase for the last 2 months, for the last 1 year, or since Monday, since October, since 10:30. Do you find the time phrase over here? No, there's no time phrase. I'll write here. No time phrase. But it talks about an incident that happened in the past. When we want to express an incident that happened in the past where time is not important, we have to use present perfect tense, not present perfect continuous. Based on that, there is an error in the first part. What is the correct expression? Residents have planted. Residents have planted the ornamental trees outside their homes and in lawns to add beauty and give their place a grand look. What is this question about? You guys have learned already. Present perfect tense. No one has got it right. Very surprising. Not even one student has got it right. Taken aback. This is the reason I always tell students, when you read a sentence, you have to think of the time phrase. You don't see the time phrase, then you have to think of present perfect. And you feel the sentence talks about something happened in the past. Then you get the answer within no time. You don't have to look beyond that. Please go to question number 3. A diamond jeweler's peon tipped off a gang about the gold in his employer's vault. Who said that? Srinath Reddy. Present perfect tense has 5 uses. The first use, it is used to express the past action for which time is not important or time is not required. Time is not important, time is not required. You don't have to mention the time. Regular classes, I teach 5 uses of present perfect, and that is not correct. Present perfect also needs a time phrase. No, not correct. Out of 5 uses, the first use, time is not required. That is the difference between past tense and present perfect. Both are used to express an action that happened in the past. Then what is the difference? An action happened in the past, time is important, past tense. An action happened in the past, time is not important, present perfect. As simple as that. Where is the error? You have just got one question based on the same tense. Again, you ask the question, do you see the time phrase here? Just say yes or no. Do you see the time phrase? Answer my question. Answer my question. Do you see the time phrase? No one has responded. Looks like we have that more than 20 seconds time lag. Here, it talks about a past incident and there is no time phrase. Just now you have just got, not just now, you have just got the same tense. Then based on that, it should be in present perfect and peon third person singular, it should be has tipped off. No, no, only one person has tipped off. Previous question deals with the same aspect. This also deals with the same aspect. All of you, please make it a habit. When you read a sentence, keep in mind the time phrase. That is the first step. It saves your time, and within no time, you will be able to spot the error. Read the sentence looking for the time phrase. There is no time phrase. Ask yourself, the verb is in present or past or future. It is in past. That means an action that happened in the past, but there is no time. Then we have to use present perfect tense. Inform, tip off means to inform. What is the meaning of the expression tip off? Means inform. You guys should make it a habit. Read the sentence keeping in mind the time phrase. I've been telling you guys, you can't afford to miss those two questions. Please go to question number 4. Yes, that's what I've just said. Adi, tip off, inform. No, this I've been teaching for the last 20 for the last 5 years. My regular students know when it comes to error location, I have been telling you guys this platform as well. When it comes to error location, the first thing you have to read the sentence keeping thinking of the time phrase, looking for the time phrase. If the time phrase is there, you can decide which tense the sentence has to be in. If the time phrase is not there, then again you have to think of the context and accordingly you have to choose the tense. Usually it is present perfect tense. They had learned, no. Nothing wrong with they learned. The statement could have been we learn a lot watching top seeded players. There's an error in the fourth part. No, no. First of all, he said you have to think of reported speech. Then what could be the actual statement? He said the performance of the Indian team was satisfactory. He must have said the performance of the Indian team is satisfactory at the international meet. And we learn a lot from watching top seeded players. So here is changes to was, learn changes to learned. There is an error somewhere else. Watching top seeded players through action, in action. That is a standard phrase. The player in action, the players in action is a phrase, not through action. We learn from watching top seeded players in action. No one has got it right. Please go to question number 5. He is in action. He is not in action. A standard phrase, if you go through the news related to sports events, they use with the players. The player is in action, not in action. Please go to the last one. Watching the exponential talent of world tennis, great, exponential, large scale, was the best things to happen to him. This is the easiest. Yes, Nagamaleshwari, first one to get it right. Here, was the best things is not correct. Was the best thing. Here, you cannot use a noun in the plural form. It should be in the singular form. The best thing, the best student, the best place. So it is related to nouns, singular form, not the plural form. Has anyone got all the 5 correct? I'm really surprised. I have been telling you guys error location, always read the sentence thinking of the time phrase, looking for the time phrase. Once you get the time phrase, you can decide. If there's no time phrase, also you can decide within no time. One reading is enough to spot the error. I'm sorry to say this, not expected. Easy questions, you should have got 3. Questions related to present perfect, really surprising. Our regular students also have missed those questions, a bit surprising. No problem, it happens sometimes. And now you should remember, make it a habit to read a sentence when it comes to error location. When you read the sentence, look for the time phrase. This I've been telling for the last 5 years, our regular students, and on this platform as well. What is the answer here? Phrase replacement. While welcoming all the moves to addresses is not correct. India's core concerns on terror, concerns also not correct. It should be to address India's core concern. Nothing wrong with, oh, fine. Let it be. Concerns means more than one. I will change it. Core concern or concerns, plural form. Nothing wrong with that part, but here to address is not correct. To address India's cores, we cannot use cores. Here, fur is not correct. And to address Indian is not correct. So, what is the answer? An easy one, should not be that difficult. You can't afford to miss. Time is precious, time is important. The plastic ban introduced by the municipality has been a total failure as there has been no reducing in the usage of poly bags. Please go to the second one. 1C, easy one. Go to the second one. Two is also easy. No, it should be the second option. There has been no reduction. There has been no improvement. There has been no progress. There has been no reduction. Here we have to use a noun, not the verb form. Here, no reduction, noun. Question is about word form. What is it about? Word form. Easy. As per the directive, the retail prices of both petrol and diesel is revising on a daily basis. No, to B, not C. Yes, Ravi Teja. There has been no reduction. Please go to question number 3. Third one, B. That's not correct. B is not correct. Or revising, it is not grammatically maybe right, but contextually it cannot be used. Or revising, someone has to revise. But what is the subject over here? The retail prices of both petrol and diesel. It should be in passive voice. Answer is no. Only Surya John has got it right. Second option, grammatically not correct. It should be in passive voice. Someone has to revise the prices based on that. And here you have, as per the directive, that's a phrase, not important. You don't have to consider. The retail prices, the retail prices of both petrol and diesel will be revised. Only one option is in passive voice. Have been revising, not correct, is revised. Here we have to use passive voice. You may ask, sir, why? Someone revises the prices. Prices will be revised. They will revise the prices. Prices will be revised. And this is about a very simple question based on passive voice. Please go to question number 4. We got everything ready for all of them long before they arrived. This is easy, should not be that difficult. You have to read the sentences keeping in mind the time phrases. After that, you have to understand the context. Then you have to decide. Question number 4 is easy. No, here there is a clue for you. Before. After before, there is one clause. They arrived. It is in past. Then, when you see the conjunction before, you have to think of four conjunctions: before, by the time, when, and after. Then you have to think of past perfect tense. Here, the context talks about two actions that happened in the past. The first action, we should use past perfect. Second action, we should use past tense. Based on that, answer is the first one. We had got everything ready for all of them long before they arrived. It is about past perfect. Two actions in the past. First action, we should use past perfect. You have got so many times. We still have some farm equipment that hasn't been used since my grandfather died. Yes, Rajesh, past perfect. Fifth one is also easy, should not be that difficult. Very good. Bharat, first one to respond. Here, you have to focus on whenever you come across two prepositions, since or for. You have to think of present perfect or present perfect continuous. Since my grandfather died. So here we have a clause in the past. It could be a phrase, it could be an adverb of time, it could be a clause, but that should be in the past. So nothing wrong here. This sentence talks about something from the past to the present. And the clue for you, since my grandfather died. And the subject equipment, third person singular, hasn't been used. It is in present perfect passive voice. Nothing wrong with the sentence. Answer is the fifth option. No correction required. Present perfect passive voice hasn't been used. Passive voice. It hasn't been used at passive voice. We haven't used it active voice. Now listen carefully. Double fillers and sync model. This is a new pattern. They have clubbed double fillers and sync model. What is sync model? You have a sentence with a blank and you have five options and two sentences with each sentence with a blank. You have to choose a word that goes with both the sentences. That's what we call sync model. But here two blanks. So double fillers and also sync model. Realized later. Okay. Three plus good enough. But all are easy. You should get phrase replacement because you have the options. Error location, you have first part, second part, third part. A bit difficult. But phrase replacement, rather easy because you have the options. You can decide. Already some students have responded. They say B. When deciding the term of the loan, base your decision on the loan's total cost and not monthly payment. Seems right. The decision to pay the workers on a monthly basis is very beneficial for small firms to keep a check on their monthly profit. Yes. Monthly cannot be used here. Determine cannot be used. Mention not relevant. Answer is the second option. Very good. Let us see the second one. Double fillers and sync model. Question number two. A bit challenging. Sorry. Question number one is over. Please go to question number two. Mention the question number. No one has got it right so far. No, no. Answer is none of these. The fifth option. Here, a wood window will require maintenance and repainting too. Lurk, lurk means to hide or to ambush, to hide with the intention of ambushing. Lurk in the dark or something that appears threatening. Not relevant here. Germane, relevant to the subject that is being spoken of. Not relevant here. Maintain appearance and fulfill of the wood, that doesn't make any sense. Garnish goes with the food items. Garnish appearance doesn't go with wood. And garnish their duty, not at all correct. Integrity goes with, you can use integrity. I'm coming one after the other. Profess, it goes with the teaching or preaching, religious, definitely not relevant here. Profess does not go with the first sentence, and it doesn't go with the second sentence. Profess their duty, no. Heft means heavy, heavy. Hefty means heavy. I've written the meaning heavy, to carry. Heft. Usually we use the word hefty. Hefty means heavy. They don't go with the context. So answer is the fifth option. Listen carefully. Here you have two blanks. This is also related to double fillers, but new pattern. You have two blanks and five words. You have to choose two words, and the combinations are given here. You have to read the sentence very carefully. Question of the day. Yes. Bulk or heavy. Usually we say heavy. Yes, yes. That's why they have given. The moment you see the word integrity, you think it goes with the defense people, obviously soldiers, but the first word is also important. These are quite challenging. New patterns. No one has responded. AC. Who is that? Kumar. First one. Very good. I appreciate. It should be. Economic globalization means what? Countries depend on each other or one another. Is increasing economic interdependence. That is right. Not rivalry and not diminution, not tyranny, not species, not relevant here. And what is the second blank over here? Whereas a globalization of business is centered around the diminution of international trade regulations. Now, international trade regulations are being slowly removed, as well as tariffs, taxes, and other impediments. Once you remove the impediments, it flows smoothly. Based on that, answer should be AC. Which option says AC? The third option, that is the answer. Perfect. Very good. This is not easy. Quite challenging questions, new patterns. Decreasing, yes. Diminishing, from that you get decreasing. That's right. Who is that? Ravi Teja. Yes. Second one is not easy. You have to read carefully. CE. Very good. One clue for you: since antiquity, from the past. How many options with E? Three options. They're not easy. Here, operates or trains the mind, or conjures means imagine, no. Here, practices, no. Induces a mode of consciousness, in a way related to training, induces a mode of consciousness to allow the mind to engage in peaceful thoughts. It is doing deliberately and intentionally. So answer is arcane means something that is mysterious, enigmatic, not easy to understand. Answer is CE. Which option is that? Fifth option. Very good. I appreciate those who have got it right. Not easy, under pressure. Antiquity means to belong to the past, something that belongs to the past. Yoga is not something new, it belongs to the past. So, antiquity, very old. It also means very old. A is not correct. Here, there is a clue for you. Imprison. You are imprisoned. What is opposite? Liberated. Many believe that the same technology that has liberated our world might also imprison. That makes sense. How many options with B? Only one option. That is the answer. No, no, easy to make out. The second option, what is the reason? You have to read the sentence very carefully. Many believe that the same technology that has liberated our world might also imprison. Contrasting, liberate, imprison. And what is the next one here? A legitimate academic study. It deserves. Answer is BD. No second thoughts. Now let us go to phrasal verbs. First, you have a look and try to get the correct meaning. Previous question easy. Imprison, opposite, liberate. Liberate, imprison. And also legitimate study, academic study. It deserves. You got it right. Good. Please go to phrasal verbs. Zero. Sometimes it happens. As I said, today the fillers quite challenging, and sometimes the questions are not easy. Don't get disappointed. Auction off, sell something. D. No. Barge in means what? C. Intrude. Bash up, bash someone up, or bash up someone. First one, you guys got it right. Second one, intrude, you got it right. Bash up means what? assault someone, attack someone physically, blurt out, say suddenly without thinking. Bag out means criticize someone. Let us have a look at these phrasal verbs. Auction of meaning, sell something at an auction. What is the example? The celebrity has auctioned off his bracelet for charity purpose. Celebrity, a popular person, his bracelet, what you wear here, for charity purpose, not for money, for charity. Whatever money he must have got, he must have given to someone. Barge in, to intrude, interrupt abruptly. Abruptly means suddenly and without invitation. An employee barged in while the meeting was going on. Look at the examples, you understand, you get an idea. Bash up, to hit or beat someone with the intention of causing physical injury. The pickpocket was bashed up by the police. Here it is in passive voice. Blurt out, to say suddenly without thinking. Excuse me. You say suddenly something but without thinking. He blurted out the news in the party. He said something suddenly without thinking. Bag out, to criticize someone. The manager backed out the management. Means what? Not supposed to do that. The manager criticized the management. Now let us go to the last slide for today. Editorial vocabulary, the words and the meanings. Please have a look at the word, write the part of speech and the meaning. Metal, part of speech, noun, first one. Metal means what? No, 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 no. Bashed up, you cannot use in that context. She was assassinated. Who is this Naresh? No, no, your example is not correct. I appreciate you have come up with an example, but it is not correct. She was assassinated, not bashed up, assassinated. What is the meaning of resilient? Metal, resilient nature. Tidings, usually it is used in the plural form. Noun, a piece of news. Please respond quickly. Exemplary, serving as a model. Adjective. First one is over, second one is also over. Go to the third one. I have written the answer for the third one. A piece of news. It is used in the plural form, usually. Tidings. B. Yes, I have written. That's right. Go to the fourth one. Innate. Innate part of speech, adjective. Innate means what? Inborn. F. 5C. Overwhelming. That's right. Mind boggling. That is also adjective. A lot of adjectives have been used. Vicissitude. That's an important word. Noun. 9:30. 9:30 there is a session. I'm going to talk about this, talk about that after this. Excuse me. So reversal of fortunes. G. Strive is a verb. Strive, strove, striven, or strive, strived, strived. It could be a regular verb. Means what? Make great efforts. Steeped, surrounded. Verb. splendor, something outstanding, magnificent features. This is adjective. What is the last one? Magnetic, attractive, enthusiastic. So answer is A. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? That's all from today's editorial session, analysis session, and hope you guys have got enriched. Today at 9:30, excuse me. 9:30 there's a session and you have to go to Unacademy channel. The name of the channel, Set Gurukul. That is a channel belongs to Unacademy YouTube channel. And 9:30 today, I'm going to do the orientation, how to deal with bank exams, what is the syllabus, how to get prepared, prelims point of view, but the focus will be more on mains point of view. And from tomorrow, it is going to be related to bank exams, the questions from previous year's papers or practice questions or tips, whatever. So if you guys are interested, aspiring for bank exams, bank aspirants, you can join me at 9:30, 9:30 to 10. Just 30 minutes, not more than that, to begin with. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And do remember to share and subscribe and share. Also, there is one Telegram channel. You have to click on the link. And after the session, I'll provide the PDF. Try to work on important questions.